Everybody, I just want to tell you that it's such a pleasure to be on here again. For those of you who've been following us over the last couple of years, we started our Find Me a Community in Israel about 2 years ago, just as Corona started, when people were unable to get into Israel. So people were reaching out to me and saying, Kim, we really want to come to Israel. We want to do a pilot trip, but we can't get there. So we decided to do some exploring. And we found that there were so many wonderful communities out there for people to move to, and we didn't know a lot about them. So we started to explore them and started to showcase all these communities on Zoom. So for those of you who are new to me, new to my team, this is what we do. We are a real estate company, but our priority is focused around community. We believe that a house is just a house. But when you find your community, that's really when you find your home. We have a lot of people who are reaching out to us to say that they want to make Aliyah, but they're not sure where they want to go to. We have people in Israel who have made Aliyah and are not necessarily happy in the area that they have chosen to live right now, and are also looking to move to a community in Israel. So our focus is to showcase as many communities as possible. We do like to focus on areas where there is an Anglo presence, even if that Anglo presence is a small Anglo presence with a growing Anglo community, because even though I think it's important to learn Hebrew and to integrate, it's also for a successful Aliyah, I do believe that you need to be around people who you feel comfortable, who you can communicate with. So we are long overdue showcasing Nahariya tonight. I've had so many people ask me about Nahariya, so I'm so happy that we're finally getting to do it. And we have some people who are very gracious, who are from the community of Nahariya, who are going to be speaking tonight. And it's a very informal chat. This is going to be recorded and put on our YouTube channel. So if anybody has to leave early, it will be available on our YouTube channel. And if you have any friends that you want to send the recording to afterwards, please feel free to do so. Marci, who is on the call tonight with us, is our real estate agent who runs our all of the north of Israel. So she is going to be handling all our Nahariya real estate and any other real estate in areas up north. So please feel free to reach out to her. We're going to leave questions until the end. What I will do is everybody that's on the call that is from Nahariya will get a chance to speak. And if they can stay on the call, they will. Those who may not be, some people will not be able to stay on for the entire time. So if anybody wants to be in touch with them, you can get in touch with me and I will pass on their phone number. So I'd like to start off tonight. I know that Errol only has a short window. Errol does not have video. Errol, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Great. Thank you so much for coming on.
Pleasure.
Okay.
Thanks for asking me.
Amazing. I asked people on Facebook and we got such an eclectic and amazing crowd. So I'd love to just hear a little bit about you, where you're from, how long you've been living in Nahariya for, and what would you like to tell people about the community?
Well, I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. Made Aliyah from Muncie, New York, at the end of 2016 with my wife. One of our sons had been living here in Israel. We still have one in the States. Didn't know anything about Nahariya until a close friend of ours that we'd known for about, a long time. Preceded us here. Her husband got a job as a physician, as a surgeon at the Galilee Hospital here in Nahariya, and that put it on the radar screen on the map for us. That got us interested in more of beach communities or coastal communities, and we looked at Haifa, we looked at Ashkelon, and we looked at Nahariya. And Nahariya won hands down. If somebody first of all, there's so many really nice things about it. I mean, one is you have the sea. In addition to the usual suspect swimming places that are country club, that probably most areas have, we have that here as well, but the sea is a very special thing. We have a beautiful Tayelet that was just redone. Half of it was just redone a couple of years ago with our new mayor here, who's been very innovative. And it's a great place to ride bikes or to roller skate or whatever, to walk, run, jog, whatever. It's just, there's exercise gyms around the Tayelet. The Tayelet is really a big selling point for us. In addition to there being some, along the Tayelet, especially in the north, there's some restaurants and watering holes and that type of thing as well. City is not too large. It's not totally that small either. We have about 60,000 people. It started in 1935, built by the German community. We have a lot of synagogues. Most of the synagogues are Sephardic, but there's certainly the central synagogue, the original synagogue here, where the Rav Ha'ir is Ashkenaz, and there's about 4 other Ashkenaz minyanim on Shabbat. Of course, this is Israel, so every neighborhood has a synagogue. But there are plenty of kosher restaurants. We know that, most of the people that we know, especially those that have moved here, in terms of the Anglo community, which is about, I'd say about maybe 100, maybe 200 people. And you get to know quite a few of them, depending on what you're into and what your activities are and groups you're in and that type of thing. There is, I'd say that it's mostly our age group, which is, in the 60s and higher, a little bit lower, mostly retired. That said, though, I think there's been a trend of some younger families starting to move in over the past couple of years. With children. We do have a boys religious school. We have a girls religious school, and they seem to, I've heard good things about them, but I'm not that expert on the chinuch or the educational system in general. But it's a pretty happy place. You don't hear a lot of English here when you're walking on the Tayelet or in town. Starting to hear a little bit more. As the rest of Israel is, you could hear a lot more Russian. You can hear some Arabic once in a while, but starting to hear a little bit more English. I get around by bicycle. You don't need a car depending on where you live. There are different types of neighborhoods. When you go further to the east, across the main highway, for a little bit further from the beach, further from the sea, you start hitting the inclines up into what I call the Kfarim of the Galil. Still within Nahariya, the older part of Nahariya, and there's a lot of different neighborhoods, and there's some of us that are, we are about a 5 or 6 minute walk to the sea, to the Tayelet, and I see a couple of people on this call already that are about a 2 minute walk from the Tayelet. So I'm sure we'll be hearing from them in a few minutes, but so. It really is a nice place. One of the potential downsides for people is that it does get very hot in the summertime. It gets hot and humid, and I think it's because of the topography, being right on the coast and being surrounded by mountains to the east. It does get very hot, and the sea definitely does determine sometimes what our weather patterns are that we can expect. But to me, the fact that it gets hot is not so much a problem. That's what air conditioning is all about, and being able to submerge in the sea or in swimming pools. And I think that's pretty much all I have at the moment. We do have, there are several WhatsApp groups in addition to the Nahariya Anglos in Facebook. There's a lot of people that are not bashful about replying to questions on the WhatsApp group. I mean, sorry, on the Facebook group. And so I guess I will defer to my other colleagues that are on in this meeting. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so, so much. And if you ever come down to Jerusalem and you're in the old city, make sure you give me a call. Love to say hello.
Love to do that. We go every summer. It's our I hate to use the word. It's our pilgrimage. Every summer we spend a week in Jerusalem. So you may just be hearing from me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Errol, thank you so, so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's cross over to Debbie. Hi, Debbie.
Hi there. I'm Debbie Koenig, and I'm originally from West Hempstead, New York, via also Silver Spring, Maryland, and Woodmere, New York, and now Nahariya. And my husband and I have been here for a year and a half. More than that? Okay, since 2019.
Where is Eddie?
Eddie's right here.
Here I am.
Hi, Eddie. Were you trying to hide?
That's okay. We're a team. It's all right. Don't worry.
So we moved here in October of 2019, and
wow,
we
so new.
Right, we're really new. And being from Long Island, Eddie's from Miami Beach. We are real beach people, and we love the sea. And it's just, we find it very, very calming and relaxing. And the Tayela, which is our boardwalk here, is just a fabulous place to walk and bike ride, as Errol said. And my grandchildren come and they skateboard. And I mean, there's just, and it's geared for, I find Nahariya is geared for families. It's full of parks right on the boardwalk, the Tayela. We have a huge brand new park that was built the first summer we were here. And in 2020 it was built. And our grandkids love to come and play at it. It's huge. And there are lots of assorted parks as well, little parks that are always busy with kids. Nahariya is made up of all different diverse groups. You have religious, you have non-religious, you have people from all over the world, a lot of Israelis. We do have Arab families, Druze families who live here, and we all seem to get along.
It's remarkable. I have to say, it's really remarkable how well we all get along. No, I won't even go there, but let's just say, it's just terrific. All these diverse groups and things, and it's just wonderful. You just walk along the Tayela and you start conversations with people. We have a dog, and there's several dog parks. We're very close to one, and it's just fantastic how we have made such really good friends in many cases at the dog park. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it's just terrific. I mean, it's to the point where we could just be walking on the street somewhere else, and somebody will say, "Oh, look, it's Sandy's daddy." You know, the name of the dog.
Yeah.
And but it's just remarkable. It really is remarkable.
Right. People don't know us always by name. They know us as Sandy's parents. You know?
Sandy the dog.
Sandy the dog. Yeah. And
okay.
And what else could we say about the community? And the shops are, you know, we have a car, so we do drive around. We're very close to Haifa. We're close to the Exquisite beach, which we also go to, but we have the beach. We literally walk a minute to the beach from where our apartment is, and we face the beach. And
Beautiful.
we just love it. And we live on the ground floor, and we are able to see the sea, the Mediterranean, right from our backyard. And another thing that's great about Nahariya is we have no qualms about walking late at night, because we walk the dog at midnight at times, and our daughter walks the dog at times at midnight with never a problem. So we feel much safer than we did in New York. That's for sure. But we love it. We think it's a great city. The people are very friendly. We're in a book club. We have a Rosh Chodesh luncheon. That's a mix of all groups of people who come, of women who come. What else can I tell you? We have a book club. We have the Rosh Chodesh.
If I could just, let me just mention one quick thing, a little bit outside of Nahariya. All of Eretz Israel is special, and it's just, I mean, that's a given. Having said that, I believe that I just love the North. The North is so special for me. The Kinneret, the Golan, the Galil, and there are so many fantastic hiking trails and things to see that you just, it's just some of there are roads, for example, our grandchildren live in Tzfat, so we drive to Tzfat regularly. And there are some roads that when we take that, I don't know how many times we have driven there, and every time we drive there, it's almost like we have to stop and pull over and say, this is just gorgeous. This is just gorgeous. So the North here is it's really, really, really special place.
And we think more people should move to the North.
Yes.
And Debbie,
We're waiting for you.
You were so lovely on the phone to me, and when I put out these Facebook messages and I contact people about, can you speak, can you come on, and some people are a little bit reserved, and you were so lovely, and I'll help you get more people on. It's such a fantastic community, and your positivity was just very contagious, and I thank you for that because, and I think when people are making Aliyah and they want to come, they're looking for warm, people to embrace them. And I think that, like, I'm definitely sending people to connect with you as well, because it's so nice to hear the positivity. Thank you so much. And I know your daughter, Hannah, is also on the call with us. Yeah. And if it's okay, we're going to cross over to Hannah. And Hannah has an amazing business, which I'd like you to share with everybody what you do.
Sorry, yeah, hold on. I just started you gotta lower your volume. Sorry, we're in the same house, so it's a little difficult to talk. I just started a business making goat milk chocolates in Nahariya. And it's been the area's been very good about helping, start up a small business, helping me find aid in any way, giving me advice. They have a shuk here every Friday, where people who, can sell whatever different things they make. There are people who sell candles, people who sell soaps, jewelry. There's a glass blower. I sell my chocolates there. There's someone who sells empanadas. There's actually a big South American community that come, from Argentina, from all over, and they come and buy, at the shuk every week. So yes, I've been building up this chocolate company, Cacao Galil, if anyone's in the area.
The link on the chat so people can look you up.
Yes, I'll post it in the chat.
And when did you also come in 2019?
That's correct. I came August 2019, so I've been here a little over 2 years. I also love the North. And I love Nahariya. I love Nahariya as well. I do have to say there's a lot of a lot of positive things about Nahariya. I will just say, I'm 32 years old and I'm single. As a single person, I find it a little bit difficult in Nahariya. I think it's a wonderful place for there's a lot of like they said, there's tons of stuff for families. So for all the Chagim, there's always events, and I always want my nieces and nephews to come and do this stuff. And there's plenty of parks, and I feel very safe walking around. But as a single person, there's not much to do. Luckily, though, I do have to say there's wonderful public transportation. So like I'll hop on the train and go to Tel Aviv, or I can go to Haifa. You know, Haifa is the closest thing. Different things like that. So there's plenty of areas nearby where you can go meet up with people. It's just within Nahariya itself, there's not so much for the single life. But other than that, I think it's a wonderful place, and everyone's very warm.
How far is it if you get on the bus from Nahariya to, let's say, Haifa? How long does it take you?
It's about 30 minutes. I usually take the train. And
there's a train line, that's right.
There's a train there, and Nahariya is the last stop, which is great. So if you ever fall asleep, you always end up in Nahariya. And Haifa is, I go visit a friend in Bat Galim, and it's about, depending where in Haifa to her, Bat Galim is about 40 minutes public transportation. Usually to the middle, to the main part of Haifa is about 30 minutes. And it's a very nice ride as well. It's very pleasant. And I go to Tel Aviv as well. I take, it's an hour and a half. It's not terrible.
Not terrible. Not terrible.
It's really not. I do find a lot of people think that traveling in Israel, it's such a big deal to travel in Israel, but you can take the buses, you can take the trains. There's the central bus station here in Nahariya. So there's plenty of ways to get around. I don't have a car. I do borrow the car once in a while, but I do not own a car. So I do, like everyone said, I take a bicycle, I take public transportation. That's really how I get around.
But it's easy to get around.
It's very easy to get around, and it's
well. I really wish you so much luck with your new business.
Thank you very much, and I really have to
hope
say,
it goes
it's a
well.
beautiful community here. Everyone was very warm and welcoming. So hopefully more people want to move to Nahariya.
That's what we're trying to encourage. Thank you so much. And I'm going to cross over to another wonderful, is actually Israeli on our call, Adi, who has also been so gracious and kind in trying to help me get people on the call, because I really wanted to, have people from all different walks of life. And I wanted some locals as well to come on. So Adi, hi Adi, can you hear me?
Yes,
okay, you're on mute. And your English is so much better than my Hebrew will ever be. So it's very impressive. Okay. We can't hear you so good.
Okay, is it better now?
Yes.
Okay, so sorry about the hearing problems. My English is really, really bad, and my husband was supposed to be here, but he's not here. So I'm very sorry. And the rabbi is here, our community rabbi, and I think that he could talk better than I can. I will answer questions if it would need it, but I can't talk so good, so I'm sorry.
You're doing amazing. You're doing fantastic. Tell me, I'll ask you a few questions to make it easier. Your husband's from where?
He was born here in Israel, and he went to United States, to Chicago, when he was 2 years ago, and did an Aliyah when he was 14 years ago. So.
And you are born in, where are you from originally?
Haifa.
You're from Haifa, okay. And when did you move to Nahariya?
13 years ago.
Okay, and you work in the gun, right?
No, I work in the Galim Torani.
Okay, so explain what that is.
It's a bit difficult for me to explain that. I'm very sorry. Maybe
I'll ask the rabbi to explain it. Okay.
But I am responsible for the community.
Yes.
And I'm responsible of the connection between people, and I'm responsible of the Gan Torani, the religious Gan over here.
Amazing. Are you seeing more Anglos coming into the community?
In the past 5 years, yes, I can see more than I was used to. So,
that's amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm going to ask the Rav to take over. Hi, Rav Yitzhak, thank you so much for coming on. Adi, thank you so much. I sent Rav Yitzhak a message last night. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry I sent you a message so late, first of all. I was like, I haven't contacted him. I can't believe it. So I apologize. But I'm so thrilled that you're on the call. Thank you so, so much. And I just wanted to point out, like, a lot of people have this impression that Nahariya is only for seniors and older people. So when I was doing the research, I found that there were so many young families that had now moved to Nahariya. Unfortunately, 2 of the families that were going to come on tonight were not able to be here. But just so people know, it's a growing community, and there are a lot of families moving into the community now. So it's not just traditionally seniors. It's really over the board, all different ages now. So Rav Yitzhak, thank you so much for coming on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so good evening for everybody here. My English isn't so good. It's like a 5-year-old kid, because I came to Israel when I was 5 from Australia. I was born in Australia, and I came to Israel. My mother was an Israeli that was with her. My grandfather went to Australia because it was a bit hard in Israel. So when we came back to Israel, she spoke Hebrew. So I didn't really speak English since then. And when my father came back at night late, we just listened to English. We didn't speak English, so it went away. So after a few minutes, it maybe come back, but that's the way. A bit about Nahariya. This city is, we call it the capital of the Western Galilee. It's the center of the Galilee. We now have 75,000 people here, but it's really a big city. Like Be'er Sheva is the middle of the south, like Jerusalem is the middle of the area of Jerusalem, like Tel Aviv is the middle of the area of the center. So everybody here around us, 250,000 people, come into Nahariya to buy, to have fun or whatever. So it's not really a big city, but it's a city that has everything. I live 500 meters from the main street, and we feel that our street is really quiet. On Shabbat, very few cars drive around, but when you go to the main street, you feel like in Tel Aviv. So it's a really special city. Everything you need as a city you have here, but when you go just a few meters into the streets, you feel it's a very quiet and a peaceful place. I think there isn't any other city with these characters that you can have everything as a big city, but you feel like in a little town. So that's Nahariya for looking for everything. This city was established by Eskenazi from German before the Shoah in 1935. And they were the main, the hardcore of the West City. And after they established the State of Israel, the 50s, there was a large immigrations of what they call Moroccans, Faradim, to Shchunot. Shchunot, that's the neighborhoods on the west of the city. So we have 2 sorts of communities or sorts of areas. More Ironi, urbanic areas, like with buildings and things like that. And on the suburbs, it's more Shchunot, it's Masorati, a lot of synagogues and Talmudei Torah, and makes a long story short, we have everything. Every area in this city has its own מאפיינים. What do you say, מאפיין? Forgot it, doesn't matter. How do you say מאפיין?
Bakery?
Yeah.
Who answered?
Whatever. Yeah, so you can find nearly in every place something that can be suitable for yourself. Now a bit about our community. I'm head of a religious community. We call it Garin Torani. Garin Torani means that there is a group of families, religious families. Most of us are Dati Leumi, and Chutz La'aretz you would say modern Orthodox or whatever. And we are gathered together not physically. We don't live one beside each other, but we are connected. WhatsApp groups, we talk to each other, we meet at our schools. And one of the things that are not so good in Israel is the word community. When you live in the United States, the community means a lot. You belong to a community. You meet there on Shabbat, and then from time to time in the middle of the week, you have events, whatever. In Israel, the community is, if you are not a religious, is you go to the army together. You meet after in
the afternoons.
You meet afternoons near the kindergartens, and that's all. We decided, not only we, all over the country, that we try to build communities just like you have in the United States, that we combine ourselves not only when we meet near the kindergarten or near the schools, we do things together. And the person who is in charge of that is Adi. She's with us, and she organizes Shabbatot. You call them Shabbatonim, we call it something else. That's the same thing. We have once a month a gathering up for women, and once in a few months for all of the community, and we have all sorts of activities for kids, and a lot of things that we do together. That makes us a very warm community, a religious community, but we don't define anybody. If someone wants to join us, he can do it with a kippah, without a kippah. We don't check, we don't have tests to join our community. Everybody is invited to be with us. So that's on one leg, Garin Torani, that's a religious community. And we are not gathered in one synagogue or one shul or whatever we call it. We are all around the city, and everybody who wants to join us can join whatever we do. So if you want to ask any questions or whatever, I can answer. I can move to somebody else.
Kim?
Amazing. Yes, Errol.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Great.
It's been great listening to everybody so far. Just a couple things that I forgot to mention. One is we have a lot of learning, both the Ivrit and in English, whether Torah, Navi, things that are more oriented for women. There's some mixed learning, some learning just for men. I mean, there's whatever people want, we usually have in terms of learning. But the other thing I wanted to say is that the families and individuals and couples that have been moving here from other parts of Israel, I'm not saying it's a primary motivation, but we have learned, or we realize that it's a lot less expensive here. The rent and the price of homes is considerably less than in the Merkaz. Tel Aviv is the most, as they say, is the most expensive city in the world now. And Jerusalem, I don't think is too far behind. And then other cities, I think, have gotten extremely expensive. For a lot of it is for good reasons, but you can still find a lot of bargains here in this area. And there's still a lot of construction here as well.
Errol, I agree 100% with you, and that is one of our missions, is to try and find affordable communities for people to live in. Sorry, Rav.
Yeah, if you're speaking about the price of living, you have to know that Nahariya is, we call it in Israel, Kavimut, is close to the border. That's why we get a reduction on tax. So if you have a nice salary here and you would pay 30% income tax in Tel Aviv, here it will be a few percent. So you can make a nice salary here and save most of it for yourself, and you can buy a nice house like you can't do it in the middle of, just like Carol said.
It's like moving to Florida, this is... Anyway, just teasing, but thank you so much. And okay, so is Gladys on the phone call? Is she on, Gladys? I'm not sure if Gladys was on, could make it. Let me see if I've missed any. Is Zahava on the call? These were people that said they may come on. Zahava? Let me just check. I don't see if Zahava is on.
Gil is here.
Who's here? Oh, hi. Okay, where's Gil?
Right here.
Oh, hi, Gil. Thank you so much for coming on.
Well, I'm in Nahariya, obviously. I mean,
it's okay. How are you?
I'm great. And so I just got on the call, and you kind of want to ask me questions, or just like
Yeah.
freely?
We're just talking about the community and why people enjoy living in Nahariya, a little bit about yourself. Go for it. Whatever you want to share with us.
Right, and please feel free to stop and direct me in any direction you see fit. So my name is Gil. I work for the Jewish Agency currently, living in Area for 7 years now. But before that, I studied at the Hesder Yeshiva, not too far from where I live now. So I have quite a history in the city. I think that, and we raised 4 daughters. The youngest is celebrating her first birthday this week.
Wow.
And the oldest is at the school. We spoke about the education system. Evan Shoam, one of the schools in the city, and in 2nd grade. And in between, we have 2 others who go to the T kindergartens in the city, who are part of our religious community, the Garin, Beit Nahariya. Again, I'm not sure if you already spoken about that. And we find it that the community is kind of all around us. Even though we're scattered, the community is all around the city, and you don't find it like in other places when you have the Garin, right? The community really like, literally living in one place, like the nucleus, right? And all forming this group of communities that are geographically closer. But in Nahariya, we're all over the city, so basically, whenever people find themselves when it's comfortable for them and the real estate, answers their needs, they can find some other Dati families around them, and the community knows how to reach out to those different families. It is a challenge, but it's something that is very common in Nahariya. So we can always find families which are like-minded in terms of Dati Leumi all over. And we're very grateful for that, because we're not living in the city center, and yet we're able to feel at home within the community. Like I said, we send our kids to the kindergartens and schools which are supported and endorsed by the Tilumi community, and are very happy. We find the education to be in a great level. Like, it's very the staff is great. I don't know other kindergartens really, but we're very happy. My wife is a kindergarten teacher, so we kind of know the standard maybe, and we like it a lot. So both the staff and the enrichment that we get through the community, which is an added benefit to what the staff can give the kids. And the families themselves, the other kids who come to that kindergarten, they know it's a more Torah-y, it's a more religious atmosphere. So the families who choose to come and sign up their kids at that kindergarten come from all around the city, from north to south, west, east. They can all sign up. It's not geographically separated by the city or something. So they can all sign up, and they come, and we feel that the population that comes to those kindergartens are more like us again. So even though we're scattered, we can still feel this sense of community and togetherness through our education system, and form, through our kids, we make friends, and we really get this feeling. Community events are happening. I know it's like 2 years that we have COVID with us. So recently, not so much as before, but it used to be very active in getting together and finding just, venues and ways to get together with any possible excuse, men's nights and women's nights, and making up events and traditions that we now switch over to Zoom as much as possible, and gradually, slowly getting back to real life, in-person meetings. And we really miss that a lot. Looking forward to have I don't know if someone mentioned it. We're supposed to have a community Shabbat together in a hotel off site, and that was canceled due to COVID, and we look forward to have it again. It's an opportunity to get together. It's just an example of the out of the box thinking about this community. And the city itself, I like it because it's very easy to get around. Everything is close. I mean, it's in proximity and easy to walk, bike, take a bus. Car is not as easy as you might think. It's free, but still not as bad as in the center of Israel. But it's pretty much flat. Some hills, but most of it is flat. It's very accessible. So we like it a lot. It's a city, but in a small, it's like a Moshav mindset. A city with a kind of a Moshav mindset that everything is closed and people know each other. And it's really warm with feeling. What else can I say?
Yael, can I ask you a question? You mentioned that you work for the Jewish Agency. So what do you do for the Jewish Agency?
So I work in a project that is called Partnership Together. That's a nationwide program, but works locally in different areas of Israel. And it's kind of twin cities. We do twin communities. And
Wow,
the
that's
goal
cool.
is to connect the Israelis with Jewish communities outside of Israel and build long-term connections. So Nahariya, for example, is connected with northern New Jersey, so Teaneck in the area. And it's there, I don't know for how long now, but like over 10 years, not sure.
Oh, it's fabulous.
And yeah, so that's great working with kids, from school age until adults and having these opportunities to get together. And also working outside of Nahariya, just talking about Nahariya. And again, in regular times, we visit each other and form these connections. And I'm sure that anyone here is want to come in the English-speaking community. So we have also the local English-speaking community, but also ways to connect to Jewish communities outside of Israel in a program that is already happening in Nahariya. And you can find that.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Also, so last minute. We really appreciate it. So you mentioned, so you've been in Nahariya for 7 years. You said, how many years was it?
7 years now in a row.
And where are you from originally? Did you mention that? I'm sorry, I missed that. Where?
In Kiryat Motzkin is where I grew up. Not too far. It's by Haifa, the Krayot area. It's more familiar with that name. But what I was looking at became too big, kind of more urban mindset, and we were looking for a smaller, still, like I said before.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, is Marian on the phone, on the call? I don't know if she's on. Marian, are you on the line? I don't know if a few people couldn't get on. Okay, so I think we're going to open it up to questions. And then Marci, we have a little presentation, correct? That we're going to show you. We wanted to present with you some opportunities. On all my calls, I try and offer some kind of real estate experience for people to see what's going on in the community in terms of what's available. Now, we also deal with secondhand sales as well. We deal with projects, and we want to be able to offer you and give you the prices of what is going on in the community. Now, obviously, this is a little generalization because it depends on, in Nahariya, the view, how far you are from the beach. So those are all factors to take into consideration. There were some questions about how does it compare to Haifa. So I would say Haifa is actually probably more expensive than Nahariya from my experience. We did do a Zoom on Haifa. So if anybody's looking for more information on Haifa, you can go to my YouTube channel under Kim Bash, and you can see one of our Zooms about Haifa. Debbie, did you want to say something?
I was going to agree with the whole thing with Errol about the cost of living here. Housing is very inexpensive compared to the other cities. And there are so many new apartments being built here. I think, we pass them all the time. There's just always building going on here. and the quietness, coming from New York, I wake up in the morning and I say every morning, I can't get over how silent it is here in the morning. It's so quiet. So it was an adjustment for me getting used to how quiet it is. But cost-wise, you can't beat it. And you certainly have plenty of supermarkets to choose from, grocery shopping, and we have 2 malls in Nahariya to shop at, as well as on the main drag. There are plenty of stores to shop at. And as Hani mentioned, the shuk that's held every Friday. So there's plenty of access to anything that you could want.
That's amazing. Thank you. We're going to talk. Marci's done quite a bit of research. Sorry, Marci, hi. You wanted to say?
I just want to say a little bit about Nahariya. Even though I don't live in Nahariya, I live in Malot, so that's 20 minutes east of Nahariya. And I just want to say I go to Nahariya regularly, and I absolutely love having the beach 20 minutes away. Nahariya, just from strolling up and down the main street, you have everything you need, and you do not need a car there. New Olim usually come without a car. So number one, that's going to make things a lot easier for you. All of your shopping, Kupat Cholim, all of your medical clinics everything is local. The shul, the beach is right there. And the best part is there's a train. I feel that once you have a train in your area, it connects you with the rest of the country. 100%. And when I travel to Jerusalem, I will drive into Nahariya and take the train from there. It's a 2.5-hour train ride, but it would be a 2.5-hour drive. I'd rather enjoy the train ride, look out the window. It's really comfortable. And I just think it's great. It just connects you with the rest of the country. And there's a lot of old and new in Nahariya. So sometimes I feel like it takes me back to being a kid visiting Israel, and I see that hustle and bustle, what I used to remember in like Tel Aviv, and it's there too. And you walk a few blocks further in, and everything is modern and new, and it's really, I think, a great place. Oh, and I just want to say about people getting along here. I find that in the north, there is something very unique. Everybody gets along in the north. The Arabs of the north are Christian Arabs, and they are very peaceful. They're kind, they're peaceful, they will wish you Shabbat Shalom. And I feel so much safer living in the north than I did in the Jerusalem area.
And I think Nahariya, from when I was there many years ago, have one of the most beautiful beaches. Absolutely gorgeous beaches. It's just stunning there. So if you're a beachy person, I think this is just such a great option for people. Marci, are we ready for the presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, and again, this is just a sampling of what we have found for you. And Marci can help you with we work basically on people, what they need, their budget, what they're looking for. And we try and find properties according to people's needs. So, okay, I did share the screen, so we should hopefully be able to see the presentation.
All right, just give me a minute. Okay. So this is just a beautiful shot of Nahariya Beach. We bring you some opportunities to live just minutes from the beach. I feel that Nahariya is so unique in the fact that it's an affordable beach area. You aren't going to find this anywhere else in the country. It really is like a diamond in the rough. It's a great place to live, and it's also a great investment where it's a beach town, and it's a great place if you ever just needed to rent it out as well. It's a great place to live. Okay. Here is the map of Israel. I'm sorry, it's a little bit small, but right here, this is where Nahariya is. So you can see going further down, sorry that this map is small, here is Tel Aviv. It's about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes by train. Just keep going down the coast, and you can get down to Ashdod, down to Ashkelon. As you can see, you know, we're really not that far up north. I mean, it's north, but it's not that far. One of the best things about Nahariya, besides for the beach, is that there is a train station, keeping you connected to the rest of the country. I actually took this picture of the train this morning. I was in Nahariya, and I just think it's great. There's also been a budget approved to create a high-speed train. I don't know how long that will take to be built, but that would be incredible to just get to Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, wherever you need to be, even quicker. And you can take the train to the airport. You don't have to worry about driving or figuring out a driver or where to park your car. So the train, I feel like, is a huge bonus to living in Nahariya. Okay, so here's a little bit about a new building project. So this new building project is in a fabulous location. It is near Shuls. It's near Anglos. It's a 5-minute walk to the beach. It's near shopping. Like I said earlier, and as others have mentioned, you can just take your bike around Nahariya. You can walk. Everything is nearby. You have everything you need. It's a short walk to shopping, a short walk to trains, a short walk to Shuls. And this project should be completed sometime in 2024. Okay, here's just a small sample of what to expect in a new building project. A 3-room, now I know this can be a little bit difficult to understand for people, so I'm just gonna show you here. This is divided up into 2 different apartments, the purple side and the blue side. We'll be talking on the blue side here. This is your mirpaset, your balcony. So each apartment would come with a balcony. We're looking at a 2-bedroom apartment. So in Israel, apartments go by room size, not bedroom size. So this is called a 3-room apartment. As you see, living room, dining area. Here's a kitchen, master with an ensuite, separate bathroom, and a guest bedroom. So it also has a storage unit here. So this is a 2-bedroom, which they would call a 3-room apartment. It includes parking as well, and prices are starting at 1.6 million shekels, depending on how high you are and what kind of view you get, but that's what they're starting at for a 3-room apartment. 4-room apartments are starting at 1.8, and there are 5 rooms as well. Those are starting at 2 million shekels, and these should be done in about 2 years. And did I say it's just a 5-minute walk from the beach? Okay, this is not in Nahariya, but this is right next door to Nahariya. This is an absolutely beautiful moshav. Anybody from the area has probably been through it and seen it, and it is just absolutely beautiful, surrounded by avocado groves, the entire moshav, and it is just stunning. I'm going to just show you here a sample of what you can get outside of Nahariya, but still being in the north and a short drive to the beach. So this is in Moshav Ben Ami, paradise near the beach. This is a beautiful home, as you can see, totally modern, absolutely stunning. You can see there's a lot of outdoor space. This property is built on 1 dunam of land, so that's about 1,000 square feet. And it is about 1,000 square meters. And the house itself is about 300 square meters and a separate unit, which is 30 square meters. And this place has a lot of outdoor space. Now I'm finding more and more people are wanting properties, not just an apartment with a balcony or a garden, but they're looking for land. People are asking, where can they have a small chicken coop or a couple of animals? Now, if you're serious about wanting land, this is a great opportunity. There's lots of land in this house, surrounding this house. The moshav itself is beautiful, and a property like this is going for 4.5 million shekels. Okay, that's it for the presentation.
Thank you so much, Marci. And again, we have opportunities, we have rentals, We have new buildings. This is just, we didn't want to make this about real estate. It's more about the community. But our job is also to help. We wouldn't represent a community or showcase something where there is no housing opportunities, because then we find it quite pointless. Our whole job is to try and find places that have affordable accommodation for people to feel that they can actually come to Israel and have a good life. And that's really what it's all about. We want to try and show you that there is a place for everybody in Eretz Israel. And I want to open up the floor. Marci, thank you so much. We'll just end the, hold on one second.
Thank you.
And please feel free to contact Marci for any, any other areas that you want to find out about the North. We're constantly looking for opportunities. And if you want us to showcase anything, please let us know. Hold on one second over here. I'm just trying to make this. Okay. What I want to do is I want to open it up to the floor. Marci's number's on the screen now. So if anybody wants to write it down, you can put a number down there. She's on WhatsApp, and she also has an American number. And we also have a Facebook group for Up North Properties that you can join, or just contact me on Kimbash. You can find me and I can send you all the information. Okay, hold on one second. Let me just stop the screen sharing. Okay, great. Okay, so I want to open it up to the floor. Does anybody have any questions? Hi, Lucy. Yes, just unmute yourself.
I'm Lucy Fisher. I'm originally from New York, but I'm moving from Alabama. I'm coming to Nahariya itself because I have two close friends there. So I'll be coming late April, early May. So first I'm renting a place in a Moshav Ein Yaakov. And within 2 months, I'm gonna start looking for property. I'm interested mainly in Achziv Beach. I know they're building new projects there, but I really don't want to wait 2 years. I'd like to know what's going to become available as far as new building projects within the next year or earlier than that, so I can bring my furniture over.
So Lucy, what I suggest you do is Marci, be in touch with Lucy. Lucy, please reach out to Marci, because we will try and look for you and find you. So you took a rental for 1 year?
I took a rental, actually it's a Zimmer, month by month.
Oh, fantastic, even better.
I'm ready to move in there. So because I have two close friends through the years that have made one made Aliyah, and I've been to Israel 8 times. I'm familiar with it, and I really like the North. You can't sell me on this because I'm sold already. But it's just a matter of finding the right property. I prefer something new to move into, and I've heard the Achziv Beach is a very new developing area. It's a little bit north. I think it's about 2 miles north of Nahariya. Is that correct? About?
Yeah, it is a little bit further out from the main community, main area of Nahariya, but Nahariya is growing and there are new developments popping up. So yeah.
Achziv is beautiful. I don't think there are many Anglos there. That's the only thing. If you're fluent in Hebrew, you'll do very well. But if you don't speak Hebrew, there's not many Anglos in Achziv. It is a magnificent beach. We take friends there whenever they come visit from the States, and we show them Achziv. It used to be the, cheapers, Eddie would remember. It used to be owned by a big, forgot what it was called, whatever. But it is beautiful, but just I'm saying Anglo-wise, you're not going to have many Anglos nor English speaking there. That's my only concern.
That's okay. Okay, well, that's what I'm interested in. I'm sort of semi-fluent in Hebrew. Not great.
Oh, great.
That's good. Well, Lucy, it's great. You still got time to, I always tell people, by the way, one of the biggest problems I have is I have lived here for many years. I'm not going to tell you how many because it's embarrassing, but I still don't speak Hebrew. And it's because I Well, actually, I'm just lazy, to be honest with you. But I surrounded myself only with Anglos, and I got very just used to being saying, "Ani lo medaberet ivrit, ani lo medaberet ivrit," and I would get into the taxi, and they would say, "Mazel tov, you just made Aliyah." I go, "Yes, I've only been living here for like more than 10 years." Anyway, so I just encourage everybody to do. If you're not coming, if you're not making Aliyah, if it's still going to take you some time to get here, there are so many wonderful online programs that you can do, and these private tutors that are just phenomenal. So I do think it's very, very wise to start learning Hebrew before you come, if you don't know Hebrew already. So
Thank you. I'll get in contact with Marci.
yes, please, Marci,
a few
please be in
days.
touch. When
Yes,
do you arrive? When are you arriving?
Well, it depends on her over there. My dog, I have to get a
Oh, you
pet
got to
home
have
for
you got to
I have
do all the
to
rabies
make a double
shots and everything.
reservation here, so I've contacted the flights department. I'd like to get there the end of April.
Fantastic.
So it's just getting on a Pacific flight that has some room for her. So end of April, I'm targeting. My lease will start May 1st, and by the summer, I definitely want to look in buying property within 2 months.
Amazing. Well, just to give you how crazy the market is, I mean, just last week I had 8 people who had flown in just to buy property
Yeah, I realize what's
in
happening
Israel.
there.
So listen, that's what's going on around the world right now. If people, as I joked before, if you're not moving to Florida, then people are moving to Israel. But again, there's a lot of interest, a lot of not just people moving, investments as well. People are looking to move their money out of America into Israel. So, okay, do we have any other questions? Somebody had asked about special needs, and I have to be honest with you, I don't know. Maybe Adi or somebody involved in the educational programs there would be able to share some information. I don't know. We can try and find out about it. I'm not sure about special needs programs, and I'm also not familiar. Somebody asked about the schooling, if it is supportive of new olim. So we would have to speak to the Jewish agency and to people who are there.
I think that I can answer some questions about the special needs and education. There's a few schools for kids with special needs. We have here in Nahariya lots of kindergartens and 2 or 3 schools for them. And I think that the Aliyah City Hall is very supportive of people with special needs. So I think that there's a lot of מסגרות.
I can't hear you. Sorry, Adi, what did you say?
I think there's a lot of
Services.
Yes, thanks.
Services, okay.
Yes. And someone asked about how can you be part of the Intoni. So anyone could be part of it, like the rabbi said, and just need to contact us and tell us that you're here and you want to be a part of us, and that's all.
Fantastic.
I'd like to add a few words about a group. We in Nahariya here, there was a group of families from France. We call them Tzarfatim. Okay? They came 2 years ago as 15 families and another 15 families. And now they're bringing another 15 families. So there will be only 5 families of French speaking. And there is a group that organizes them all over Israel, and they put them in several cities. We were chosen to be one of those cities. What is concerning us to learn from them, they came as a group, and they have young children, and they go together to school. They have special teachers that the state gives them because they are numbered enough to have special hours of learning Hebrew and all sort of stuff that can make the Aliyah easier. They're not by themselves. So if there are families with little kids that come together as a group, it'd be easier to help them as a group than as individuals. We will help everybody, but as an individual, it'll be a bit harder. So it'd be very wise if you come with little children to come as a few families together. So we can find, if we can find so we can help find the flats close to each other and close to the schools. It could be making the klita easier, if you think about it.
We actually are working with quite a few communities from North America who are looking to make group Aliyah. So just so people know, there are groups coming, and we're trying to find affordable accommodations and places for people to move to. So it's all about finding, unfortunately, it's not so much real estate opportunities where you can find 20 homes or 20 apartments in one area. So that can be challenging.
We found a new building that was on the end stage of accommodations, and we took, I think, 30 flats just on rental from the one who was building the building, the Kablan, and he gave it for a very low price. It wasn't so easy to live in a construction area, but that was a start. And then everybody goes on his own after a year and finds himself whatever he wants. So if you come to Nahariya, we can show you the building. We call it the French building. Everybody lives
French
there.
building. Well, I know that in Netanya, there's, I've been working with a lot of the Syrian community, and they just bought a whole building in Netanya. There's a group coming from Baltimore that is going to be in Afula. There's a whole group coming now that's going to be in Jerusalem that's bought 2 buildings. So it's happening. It's happening. Okay, who else? Anybody else?
If I can just add a little something now. Like I said, I don't live in Nahariya, but I live nearby. And I did live before Ma'alot. We lived in Ma'ale Adumim, which is near Jerusalem. And I find that when you move to an area where there are fewer Anglos, the Israelis are very welcoming. Now, when we lived in a community where there's a large English-speaking community, the Israelis in the town looked at us like, you belong to them. There was a big split and a big divide. Now we moved up north to Ma'alot, and my Israeli neighbor brought me a cake. As people speak to me, I can communicate in Hebrew. My Hebrew is not amazing, but I can speak and I can get by. With my broken Hebrew, I am welcome, and I feel like one of the people here.
The men that came to our house.
We had Corona. Now I'm assuming things are similar in Nahariya, but we had Corona, and they brought the minyan right outside our door. Like, we feel like one of the people here. We don't feel like we are the separate American community.
That's amazing. Eliezer, you had a question.
Yes, I have a question. I live in Jerusalem right now, and we're thinking of moving up north. One of the things I would miss, it's not that critical, but I'm just curious if there's some kind of fruit and vegetable market the way we have Machane Yehuda here. Does Nahariya have something like that, or is most of the stuff you buy in supermarkets?
We don't have an open market like Machane Yehuda, but the shops, the big shops in the north, are selling products, I think, even cheaper than Machane Yehuda, and maybe even more
tasty.
Nice. Yeah. But you have to come and check.
You can come to Ma'alot.
I have a
20
son
minutes away on Wednesdays. We have an open shuk. I think there might also be something in Akko, which is nearby. And once you live up north, you kind of go from area to area, town to town. It's really like no big deal.
Eliezer, where do you live in Jerusalem?
In Baka.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Okay. Well, we have amazing, I think be in touch with Marci, because she's really clued up about what's going on right now. And every week we're doing a different place. If you go onto our YouTube channel, we've covered over 30 communities already. But we are getting so many requests for north. That's our biggest request right now, is people want to move up north. They want more green. They want more land. So that's been our focus right now.
One more question. What's the rental market like there?
Marci?
Rental market. Yeah, in Nahariya, I would say for a 3-room apartment, that would be 2 bedrooms, ranging between 2,500 to 3,500 shekels a month, just to give you an idea. It's a lot more affordable than the rest of the country, and it's on the beach.
Yes.
Rav Yitzhak
I
is going to
say,
say
I say a
something.
bit less even. I think a bit less. If you find not a very new building, you can get it even for less.
Mhm. I was thinking the other way around. I'm thinking like making an investment and then renting it until we're ready to move. Something like
I
that.
think it's one of the best cities to make an investment. You can buy here an
100%.
old house for $1.2 million, and you can rent it for 3,000 shekels a month, and you can make the math by yourself. I
Yes.
think it's one of the best investments you can do in Israel.
Yeah.
But also, I want to say, in terms of real estate, because that's what we do, you don't make your money necessarily in yields. Yields here do not, it's not like America where you have incredibly high yields, but it's where you make your money is in appreciation. Okay, so you hold on to these properties because that's what's going on right now, is that there's, I'll just give you interestingly facts, about what's going on in the market. Last year, in the first quarter in the real estate world, where do you think the most apartments were sold? It was very interesting, Ashkelon. Okay, and this was the time when all the rockets were going off. But that's still where there was thousands and thousands of people were buying in Ashkelon. And I think the prices now are really quite high in Ashkelon. Nahariya is much cheaper than Ashkelon. And personally, I think I love Ashkelon as well, but I think the beaches are much nicer and it's much less populated than what's going on in Ashkelon. Ashkelon, you've got these massive towers going up all over the place, 27 floors, 30 floors, which I think Nahariya is not there. It's more of a boutique experience. You still find some of the higher buildings. I'm sure it's going to get there eventually, but right now is a phenomenal time to invest. Really is. So Eliezer, please be in touch with Marci. I don't know if you swapped information yet, but please be in touch with either me afterwards and I'll connect the two of you. Okay, any other questions?
We have another question on the chat here.
Okay, you want to answer it?
Temporary living accommodations.
That would be like short-term rentals, I'm assuming.
And she's asking for not an Airbnb style, more like month to month.
Lucy had got something, so I'm not sure, where did you find your accommodation through your friends, Lucy?
Well, what I did about a month ago, my friend lives in a moshav in Yaakov, and she put out on a WhatsApp, find my friend a place. So it was an elderly couple that they're about to try to return retirement home. So they said, you want to come here for month by month? So I'm going in sort of blindly. I'm sort of a little scared because I don't have a contract. It's in Hebrew. And that's where my Hebrew stops, but it's a start. And if I'm thrown out, then I could move in with my friend, with my dog. But I want to get my own place as soon as possible. But it was through a WhatsApp group, word of mouth. And it's all
connections, networking.
Scary to do it that way. That's not how I usually do things, but
listen, I think that if you have your friends been to check it out for you, the place? Okay.
I got pictures but still, I don't
It
usually
will be good. You got to expect good. It's going to be great. You're making a very big move and it's going to be amazing. So, and there's enough people here that I've connected to that I know if that you need something, I can call them for you and we can help you. So don't worry.
Okay, thanks.
Don't worry. Okay. So I just want to say thank you so much to everybody. You've all been unbelievable. I've got to get up to Nahariya. I haven't been there in a very long time. When I first came to Israel many, many years ago, I was actually on a kibbutz called Kibbutz Yasur, which is near Akko. And we used to come up to Nahariya quite often. And I just remember the beaches being just one of the best beaches I've ever seen. And coming from South Africa, which we have glorious beaches, that's saying a lot. But thank you so much, everybody. Please feel free to reach out. We're on Facebook. Marci and her husband, David, also run an incredible organization that you can... Marci, why don't you give a quick 30 seconds on what you and David do as well?
So we run something called the Aliyah Network. We have a Facebook page where you can chat and talk and ask questions. We also have a WhatsApp group, which is similar. You can, you know, just chat with others or people who have already made Aliyah and those that are making Aliyah soon or just considering. It's really just a support system. We've done it. We know what it's like, and we're here to help you with it.
Great. So that's Aliyah Network, and I can help set you up on the group as well. Please feel free to reach out. We're here as a support system for you. And for those of you not in Israel, we're looking forward to welcoming you home soon. There's no excuses now. I believe that anybody, even if you're not vaccinated, can now come into Israel. So no excuses not to come. And next week we're going to be doing, we've done it a few times. We've had more people request for Renana, which is a very big Anglo, been around, many Anglos have settled there, a big favorite amongst Anglos, but we have a lot of people still requesting, so we're going to be covering Renana again next week, and probably in about a week, I'm not sure, we will try and do Sfat. That's going to be our next area probably after Renana, and please feel free to contact me if there's something you want to know about. We will investigate it for you. So we're here for you. And again, thank you so much. It's been such a wonderful call. And Nahariya is going on my top 5 communities now because I just love the people. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And have a Laila Tov. And if you come to Israel and you come to Jerusalem and you're in the old city, and if you need the toilet, please don't come and knock on my door like everybody else does. Anyway, God bless everybody. Laila Tov.
Bye.